So we have two wines to try today.
Yeah, our first wine is this is the Siena, and just newly released.
This is the Siena.
Our first one is the Siena. It's newly released, 2012 vintage. Was a, as we're talking, it's a great vintage. So this wine is a unique wine. There's not a lot like it. It's a blend of Sangiovese, a Malbec, Petit Syrah, a little bit of Petit Syrah, a little bit of Cab. So that Sangiovese, you're getting your recognizable strawberry and bright berry character, and then you get some structure from the Petit Syrah and the Cab that we blended in there. So it's a very fruit forward, just fresh and fruity wine. It's like just really easy drinking and appeals to a lot of people.
Can you talk a little bit about where the idea originated for Siena? I know that's before your time, but...
Yeah, this wine's been around for 20 years now.
It's sort of a pioneer.
Well, the owners have Italian heritage, so I think it's sticking to their roots and wanting a wine that goes great with food.
And in the beginning of the Siena, it was funny, when they first came out with Siena, it was mainly Cabernet. It was like 75% Cabernet and Siena or Sangiovese blended into it. And through the years, we have evolved it to be more of a Sangiovese-based wine with a little bit of Cab and a little bit of Malbec. And I think that Malbec basically gives it the fleshy softness, because Sangiovese tends to be a high acid grape, like cranberries and cherries and strawberries, where that Malbec is a little bit more boysenberry and rounder and softer. And the tannin from the Cab and the structure gives it a little bit more. So it's kind of evolved, and I think it's our easy drinking, soft tannin wine.
Has the source of the Sangiovese changed over the 20 years?
No, I think we have Sangiovese planted in Alexander Valley down below. We also have it in 2 ranches on our hillsides. So kind of mixed.
Did you get something different, a different expression of Sangiovese from the hillsides and from the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. The valley floor is going to give you that more juicy fruit, where you get, you pick up some really kind of fruity sweetness in the mouth from that fruit, and then your structure and the darker fruit you're going to get from the hillside.
So it's an easy drinking wine, but it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Pinot Grigio, that it's not simple, it's not just fleshy, plump.
No, it has some
fruity.
complexity
It has some
to
complexity.
it, yeah, with the blending. And the oak, you get just a touch of oak. It's 20% new oak, and we use some Hungarian and French oak, so that gives us some more spice and complexity. Hungarian is kind of like cinnamon, spice. What else?
And the French oak, so Hungarian would be...
A little bit of mocha.
And what would French oak give to the wine?
I think French oak has more of the vanilla, integrates a little bit more with the fruit, so the fruit is coming out.
Yeah, I think the tannins I feel like the tannins of the French oak is just more of a seamless, but it is 20%, so it's not a lot of oak, but there is a little bit of the toastiness that comes through, just a touch and a little bit of a kiss to give you a little bit of complexity.
It's really well judged. It flies under the fruit. I mean, it's an accent. It's used as a spice, and it's just adding some spice. And going back to the Pinot Grigio again, I think that texture is an underappreciated part of wine, because it's really easy to talk about if we talk about this being a cherry fruited wine, there are a million other wines that we can say are cherry fruited as well. But the way that the tannins, a little bit of fleshiness from the Malbec, the spiciness from the wood, and the acid spine from the Sangiovese come together, it's very enjoyable to drink. It tastes good, that's a different discussion, but when you have it in your mouth, and the finish invites another sip.
That's the idea behind it.
Which is, for me,
not another sip, but another glass.
Well,
but it's
one sip at a time.
But it's wonderful with food. I mean, it's such a nice. There's not too many.
It's got that refreshingness. I'm sorry.
I think it's great with food. It's a wonderful food wine. So.
And this as well is packaged in screw cap.
Mm-hmm. And that is the whole idea of it's an easy, early to release wine, of red wine. So to me, it is something to preserve the fruit in the wine. It's not meant to be a long aging Cabernet that you're going to lay down for 20 years. The Siena is something that we want people to enjoy.